Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today we're going to talk about mining Quantanium and all that you have to do to make that be a successful venture or a big flop or failure. We will kind of go into some of the particulars. First, you've got to find Quantanium, and as you can see here on Yella, I've found a couple of rocks here that have like 1% of Quantanium. So it's not going to be super lucrative here. This was just for video testing purposes, so I could show you guys what it's like to mine Quantanium and whatnot. So I've actually sped up a lot of the video as well and skipped around just a hair so that you guys don't have to deal with the minutia of it. So Quantanium is very volatile. So if you are going to be collecting Quantanium, you definitely want to wait until you've broken down the rocks that you're looking at. Otherwise, it could become a serious issue for you. The longer you have Quantanium in your hold, the more likely or the bigger the chance that it will explode. Also, I want to mention that I have kind of changed my video recording settings for this video. You guys let me know if it's less quality, better quality. Right now I'm only going to do it on 1080p, so it's obviously going to be less quality than the 4K. But you guys let me know if you think it's slightly less quality than it was for previous 1080p videos. I'd appreciate it. So you can see I did extract some Quantanium there. It wasn't a whole lot, and I'm going to go on and do some more mining. Now this mining run is not going to be worth a whole lot because I did pick up that Quantanium early for the purposes of this video. But you do have a little bit of time, at least when you're on Yella, to go on and do some more mining. If you are on a more distant place and don't have somewhere you can quantum back to in a hurry, then you're going to likely not make it back or have to jettison your cargo. So they do give you the option to jettison your mineable rocks, so that is definitely a good thing. I wish that we could do that with the stuff we didn't want, like the inert material and lower quality rocks, that sort of thing. That would be awesome. CIG, do it, please. Let us be able to sort our rocks into ones we want and ones we don't want. Anyways, so that's just a wish list for what I would like to see, and I know a lot of other people would too. Here I've kind of found like a phantom mining thing. Maybe it's underneath, maybe in a cave or something, I don't know, but it kind of took me for a wild goose chase for a minute. If you guys mine on Yella, what I would recommend doing is going to Benson Mining and then picking one side of the ring or the other to head off on the horizon and just kind of follow that as your, I guess, guideline, since there's no actual headings or anything in the game yet. That's what I would use as a heading, and you'll usually be able to find some pretty good rocks. I found some agricum as well in this trip, just not enough to make it a very profitable run. And again, I wasn't going for profit. I just wanted to show you guys how unstable Quantanium is and where you could find Quantanium. I have found Quantanium every time I've gone to Yella. Every single time. Now, I've also 30k'd. I've also lost my cargo because the Quantanium exploded, which was interesting because I'd already made it back to Port Olisar. If you have a rough landing at Port Olisar, the Quantanium will become unstable quicker, and it will most likely blow up before you get to sell it. Honestly, I don't know what kind of damage it did to my ship at the time because I was inside Port Olisar when it exploded. I was able to sell my other stuff, so I'm guessing it didn't destroy my ship, but I have heard people having Quantanium on there and blowing up the entire ship. That would be awful, but I could see that happening depending on how much you had. So I definitely would watch how long you have it in your ship and, you know, if you might need to jettison it, I would highly recommend you using that route if you're not going to make it back to a mining post or a place that you can refine the ore. New Babbage is not necessarily the best place to do that because you have to do tram rides and, you know, the whole 9 yards. I don't know what's going to happen. I assume if you can store your ship, you're good. I will have to do some further testing on that. If you guys know for sure, please list that in the comments. But I'm guessing if you can make it to a ship terminal and store it, you're going to be just fine. So you could probably get to New Babbage, land, store your ship, and then go and sell your Quantanium. I do know that there are some moons around Microtech that have the Quantanium. There are a couple of other places as well, asteroid fields. Not going to name those, you got to discover those on your own right now. I'm not going to give away all my secrets and tips. As you can see, a yellow light just came on in the upper right hand corner of my HUD. That yellow light signifies volatile cargo. So the Quantanium is starting to become unstable. I wanted to do a couple more pings, and then I decided, yeah, maybe I should go ahead and head back to Port Olisar, considering the previous issue that I had with my Quantanium not making it back with me. So I'm going to set a course for Port Olisar and try to get back in time to sell this volatile ore and the other stuff that I have collected. If you are going to be a Quantanium miner, you can make great amounts of money, but you have to deal with this instability, which can be a big issue. So how much money are you going to make per run? Would you be better off doing something like Agricum and being picky about it? Again, there's a cost versus time ratio here. Like how much money you're going to make based off of how much time you're going to spend on whatever metal or mineral that you are going for. Agricum is not unstable, but it is worth a lot. But it could take a while to find enough to fill up your cargo hold. So, you know, Laranite's kind of the same way. It's not nearly as good as Agricum, but it does pay off pretty well. Quantanium pays off a tremendous amount. But how much can you find and before it becomes unstable? You know, you really need to be able to find 3 or 4 or 5 rocks all next to each other that are massively Quantanium. Like the amount of Quantanium in those rocks needs to be a high percentage. And you need to break them all down and then extract each piece and then get your butt back to a refinery. As you can see, there are some little yellow smoke type things. You'll see it a little bit here and there. When it goes red, which I'm not going to show you in this video because I do make it back here to Port Olisar before it goes red, red is imminent. That means it's going to blow up any second. You have very little time before it explodes. I've heard somebody say you have about 7 minutes from when you collect the Quantanium to when it starts becoming unstable. I don't know how true that is. I didn't really time this to see. I think it depends on how much you have, or at least it should depend on how much you have on how quickly it becomes unstable. Did not notice that, but I did notice that I started getting some like yellow steam lines, which means the radioactivity or the instability of the Quantanium is increasing, and it'll actually turn red and do the same thing with the red, like steam type, you know, radioactive lines or whatever. Once it goes red, you are very screwed. You really need to get back to a refinery before it gets to that color. Otherwise, you may lose it. So I run in here, and again, I had a very small percentage, as you can see, which means it paid off very little. The whole run was only worth 9,000. I only had like 4, units of Quantanium in there. Wasn't much at all. But guys, thank you again for watching these videos. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon to let you know when I do more of these. If you want to sponsor me, my Patreon information is listed at the end of this video and in the description, as well as becoming a YouTube member to my YouTube channel. I would appreciate all and any of that help. My org is Texas. That information's down below too if you wish to join it. We're a very active org and we help everybody. We love everybody. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. I'll see you out in the verse.